Good afternoon, folks. How you guys doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm Frank, your host here on American Eagle Rises. Yeah, we got Saturday shenanigans. No, I thought Friday was more of a shenanigans day, right? So anyway, I hope you all doing well. Returning members. See, I told you guys I'll keep. There's no hope for me. Yeah, returning subscribers. Thank you for making this place what it is. Goofy and but you keep the lights on. I don't get any money. I told you guys this is a small what do you call something that's less than 50 subscribers, right? Like we'll call it super duper micro channel. I don't know. And for you new folks, thank you for stopping by, checking me out. Thanks for tolerating my goofiness. I just, it's entertain. Isn't that what we're supposed to do on YouTube? Is entertain? Like I try to entertain you while we actually try to give some information, right? Like a little microscope into who I am. Like I'm like this all the time. Like I can't fake. Like I'll be at work and like I don't know. Like you would think, especially like when things are tense and tough, and it's kind of one of those things where you kind of get to laugh something off. You kind of blow off a little bit of stress, right? You get you get so worked up and you get concentrated, right? Something like that's kind of like a little breather. You stick your head above water and you're like, oh, finally, you might be back under the water anytime soon. But I know I've had in the past, like, people are just like, stop goofing off, Frank. It's like, I'm not goofing off. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm just, I'm not a damn robot. And, yeah, okay, right? Hey, that's probably why people think it's like, you're an engineer? Yeah, dude. Choo choo, man, we got the Trump train going too, all right? You don't like Trump? I don't know what to tell you. He ain't perfect by any means. Especially the last week, I got my opinion on all of this. But guys, yeah, I mean, the things could be a lot worse. I know they're not great, okay? So we can't control any of that stuff. I do have a little bit of, I'm trying not to scare you guys here, but I think it's kind of interesting. So, yeah, here in Michigan, it finally stopped raining. Man, I don't want to get into a little bitch fest here, but it rained so much. Like the other day, when was it? I don't know, sometime yesterday, or we had tons of rain on Thursday, and we had some on Friday, and it kind of stopped, and it kind of came back up, and finally today, Saturday morning, But my damn sump pump, when it's like really like tons of water, like. You know how there's a switch for the float? I don't know what the hell. It's like, it's either stock or something. Like the float's up, and I just don't think it's either, I don't know, or something's gummed up in the, but you just kind of give it a little tap and, clicks and, but it doesn't happen that often, right? Like it normally will kind of work, but anyway, water was kind of, parts of the basement, right? It was so much water that started seeping into the. Wasn't a ton of water, just annoying more than anything. But yeah, dude, it took a long time to get all the water out of, like, not in my basement, but whatever the drainage that goes around the house, right? Like it. Yesterday, that thing was on for like almost an hour pumping water, and that kept filling back in. Anyway, we'll probably take it out. I don't know. I'm praying maybe I can just hose the thing down. Maybe there's some areas I can. I don't know. I'm gonna go online, see if other people had some things, but I'm pretty sure it's just scaly, dirty crap built up over 9, almost 10 years here now. So, but that's just to say it's like almost 90 degrees, and when I went out walking, it wasn't 90 degrees, but it just kept getting hotter. But it's so humid. Like it. I think when I left, it was like 75 5 or something. And I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. I get out there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt like I just got out of the shower. And it was just like, you know, I had to cool off, had to get some stuff. And as I'm walking, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what the hell. Maybe this is getting older. But I've always had, like, cramps in my one calf. And it's typically my right one. And, you know, hey, that hasn't cramped up. But guess what? Now it's the left one. But it's like a real... It didn't fully cramp. It just gives me this little thing. And I'd stop and just... So on my way back, I saw 7-Eleven. I went in there and I'm like, oh, yeah, they got like you can buy 2 bananas for $1. I'm like, yeah. But I don't know. Like on the way back, it was like every like minute or two. Just, you know, I had to stop. And anyway, don't get old. We're all getting old. We can't really do anything about it. But anyway, guys, I'm just going to stay in the house. It says heat advisory. I wouldn't necessarily say it's because 88, I think it's 89 right now, but that's kind of my top limit, but it is too humid. And this is like, it feels like August humid, right? Like it's the end of June, so, but it rained for like 3 days, right? So that's probably where it is, right? So it's going to take a couple days to burn it off, right? So tomorrow looks like 96 with probably the same amount of humidity. Yeah, so we were gonna work out in the garage. I don't know, maybe going there and early in the morning. I don't know. I also want to I don't know. I say I want to go for a walk. So anyway, get that out of the way, right? Yeah. If you guys got any suggestions on any of that stuff I just mentioned, like put it down. Put it down below. Yeah, so we're probably just going to chill out and kind of keep it easy. I did like a little thick couple of stuff yesterday. Nothing major, just, you know, kind of like, I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot to do this. I had to go online and all this stuff. So I don't know. I might do, I don't know. I don't even know because I changed my mind, you know. Like women change clothes, right? Anyway, let's get to, I saw some interesting stuff. Again, it could be a lie, but one of the biggest things that I saw, yeah, I don't know, I'll just get into it. A couple of our advanced stealth bombers, aka the B-2 stealth bombers, are they're either on their way or they're already almost there. But and this is what's odd, they go to Guam. All right, now take that for what it's worth. Now I'll give you a little bit of, hey, don't flip out, right? Because right now we're all under just too much pressure. Anyway, I'm trying to remember though. Sometime earlier this year, the B-2s were there as well in Guam. Yeah, I don't want to say it's part of training or whatnot, but yeah, we have a certain bomber. That bomber wing is out of Missouri. And I think we have 22 of those bad boys. So we don't know how many went over there. They typically don't deploy too many of them actually in the field. We tend to keep them stateside, if you know what I mean, right? So if they're in Missouri, they're almost in the middle of the heartland, and that is on. If you guys don't know anything about strategic things and how the military puts their stuff, their assets everywhere, it's in the middle of the country for a reason, right? Even though we've never been invaded other than 1812. We kicked their ass though. Anyway, yeah, you put this stuff in certain areas because it's really, really, really hard to get to. Imagine if the United States is being invaded on all fronts somehow, East Coast, West Coast, southern border, northern border, right? Well, guess what? These things are in the perfect position, right? So even if you don't want them to fall in the enemy hands. That's definitely not, you don't want that, right? So but you definitely want to use them around. So in the middle of the country, those motherfuckers. And that's a good way of saying this is in loving way. These motherfuckers can go anywhere, right? But they're in Guam. I don't know how many we deployed. I would imagine probably 2. Who knows what their payload is? Their payload can be variable. Obviously, these things they are designed. I believe it's two big bad boys, and we're talking the ones that have megatons. All right, and I believe those are the ones that I can't remember if those have the multi-entry vehicle. If you don't know what the hell that is, Russia used to have this. Well, it's a missile, right? A ballistic missile. Well, it's from the bombers. It's not a... But anyway, the Russians had these. They probably still have them, but it's a ballistic missile, and then there's a certain range where there's like a capsule. It jettisons out because the rocket part is a booster. So it launches as that up into the atmosphere. And as it gets... The capsule part that gets closer to its target, it has multiple warheads inside. Yeah, nukes, right? And then can spray a target. In theory, it could cover a lot, right? Like maybe if there's a couple big cities nearby, right? It could send a couple. But you couldn't do from like one side of the country to the other, right? It doesn't really work that way. But yeah, so they do have that. They also have a couple different ordnance, laser-guided bombs for sure. Bunch of smart munitions. Did you guys ever watch Iron Man? I think the first one. You know that like the little, I call them daisy chain. They got a ton of those. Most likely they have that ordnance. But you never know. But anything that has the uranium type, I doubt they're deploying those to Guam. Those are, again, they're here. There's no way in hell anyone would order those things to go to Guam with nukes on them, okay? I guess anything's possible, right? But no, from a strategic standpoint, no. Some damn general would be telling Trump, no, we ain't, no. Now, depending on your DEFCON level. I know, this turned into military, because I used to be a big military geek. Yeah, I mean, my dad was in the military, so guess what, right? Me and my friends, we grew up Gen X, and, the Russians, the Russias were bad. We kind of grew up with Red Dawn. So we thought the next war would be us, right? Like, we would be teenagers, ragtag, right? But guess what? That didn't happen. I don't know. I wonder in a parallel universe, Frank, that was, anyway. So, yeah. Now, again, these are just B-2s. They're in Guam. Guam is like, yeah, we'll never get rid of Guam. That's a very strategic location. We definitely have a military base and an Air Force base there. And, yeah, that would definitely be an area that is very hard for any of our adversaries to hit. I don't know, maybe theoretically China could hit it, but they'd have to launch one of their biggest... We'd probably see it coming anyway. Yeah, so that's what's going on here. Let's see here. Trump 2-week delay. That's old news. Old news. Yeah, what else did they have? I think there was something talking about the tariffs, and I didn't want to... I'm just going to make a comment to it. And let's just kind of look at other things. Yeah, Supreme Leader names successors. What's it? Well, what's funny is they probably already had that. But I guess Newsweek just has to tell us about that. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, all right. It's called the top story. Social Security is 2020. We don't care about that. We don't get Social Security. Are we ever going to get Social Security? Yeah, I don't think so. How to Train Your Dragon. Trump. Where is it? Hang on, guys. They always move these damn stories. Oh, gosh. Why do they do this? This is so annoying. It's so annoying. What the heck is this? I have have no idea why I just did that, turn into something like that. Well, how many times? Oh, okay, we cycled through that. Where was it? Yeah, I guess now it is lost to the ether because they were. It was from Fortune, which is funny enough. Yeah, all right, Frank. I'm just gonna have to wing it again, like we always do. So anyway, I guess the tariffs, right? So the guy that talked about, hey, maybe the tariffs. Well, guess what? He's kind of changing his tune a little bit. And he's kind of saying, oh, hey, maybe Trump fooled us all. Duh, come on. Like, what the... See, here's the thing, guys. Whether you like the tariffs, don't like the tariffs, like, we should blah, 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 blah. We gotta... this stuff is coming our way anyway. It just is. Whether we want tariffs on foreign good stuff, the price of that stuff is going to go up anyway. So, for all his flaws, right, I totally support that, right? Trump's like, well, the stuff's going up in price. We might as well at least try to take advantage of this. And that's what he's trying to do, right? But everyone's every little business. You talk about, he just talked about tariffs, and the entire system is freaking out. Because he's hitting the nerve, right? This money, right? It's whatever to them. It's free money, right? It's our damn taxes that pay for this shit, right? So. Come on, right? But that means their lifeblood, they're like Dracula, sucking this shit for years and decades. That money's going away, right? So this, that's why there's such a big media, like, oh my God, the price of bananas are going to go up. It's like, come on, dude, like what? Right? Just because some of that is true, they're being misleading, right? Because that means their money over there, right? Not here. The money over there is stopping. And that's why they're bitching about it, because their free paycheck ain't coming. Well, guess what, man? Why don't you work for it just like everyone else here, right, guys? What the hell? So, again, the cost of stuff is going to go up whether Trump was going to be president or not, right? So... try, right? This is, what do they call it? Like, in a crisis, it can turn into an opportunity. So that's what he's trying to do. But because there's so many goddamn leeches and parasites, it's like you're trying to take these and it's just, it's like impossible. It's just, right? So he's trying his best. A lot of people don't agree with it, whatever, right? But I'm trying to educate you from a tariff perspective, right? And it's not clear, like even just the tariffs, it is not clear cut. I mean, like I know a lot about cross-border transactions and money here, money there. All these companies are shell companies, right? And they're incorporated over there, but they're not taxed here, and right? I mean, if you guys ask me, the entire, what we call the system, it needs to be rooted out. I mean, it is down in the, it's like trying to break up the foundation of the Constitution. That's how bad this stuff is. And yeah, there's going to be some, whatever you want to call it, collateral damage. Again, our wallets are going to get hit whether we do this or not. So let's try to like funnel it somewhere. And again, it ain't going to be pretty. But he's trying to have what I call, right, a controlled demolition, right? Kind of like a couple of buildings in New York, right? But the point is right, it's not just to blow it up and it goes everywhere, right? You're trying to, right? So does the building get destroyed? Yes, but it's being controlled in a manner so that we limit the damage. And that's, again, we're trying to do that with every item, right? So we just try the best that we can to, as people, right? But I just buckle in, guys. Like it like shit is going down, and the system has to come down. The globalist system must come down. It will come down because the United States cannot keep this up. Meaning, we can't keep having the United States like be either the policeman or it's just we can't like eventually we can't keep doing this. So as much as the globalists want the system to keep continuing, they can't see that its days are numbered. And I know it doesn't feel that way. I totally get it, right? But as that system is dying, they want it's like they're the man trying to, they're watching the world burn, right? Like now they know their world is ending, so they're going to take everybody out. And that's where we are right now. I just wish you guys would kind of wake up. Again, I could be wrong, but I'm not, or what is it? I might not be right, but I'm not wrong, right? Can't we just get back to a gold standard? Oh, no, they don't like that either, guys. They don't want your money to actually be worth anything. And the ironic thing too, right? Because we talked a little bit about it. I'm at 21 minutes. Oh, geez, oh, Pete, I can't believe that. I could keep talking about all crazy ass topics. I don't even know what the hell we'll call this one. What the hell was that? Well, sometimes I got some squirrels. They're at the door, so they're probably like, "Get out of my peanuts." Where was I going with this shit? Hey, Raymond. It happens to me way too much frequently, but again, my brain kind of goes, so sometimes I don't remember it's like a pinball that's bouncing really, really fast. It's like, yeah, okay, I remember the last 3 bounces, but the other 20, and I don't remember any of those. Like, they never happened to me. But, yeah, oh, yeah, that's right, the gold, silver system, right? So it's funny because the Trump and Powell, fight, if you will, right? It ain't no fight. It's pure optics. It's really funny though because Trump's calling for lower rates, which I think is ironic, but there's a point to that. And the Federal Reserve is like, oh no, we're not going to cut rates. And ironically enough, it's supposed to be the other way around. Well, it delayed, so maybe all of this I might be talking into the ether again. But the Federal Reserve, in theory, they actually want rates to be low. Because they get to issue more debt, right? And because they don't have the money. Like, if you get out, again, I don't know if we want to have a separate video about this, but the Federal Reserve has no funds, right? They purchase stuff for free. For them, but it ain't free to us. We're the taxpayer. We're liable for it. So they steal it and then we pay for it, right? So take that for what it's worth. But in theory, they want rates to be lower so that their stupid asset prices go up, right? So they want to buy it and then sell it. So they've had these damn assets for a while. So you would think they would want rates to be lower. But, Trump won. Oh shit! So how do you screw a president, right? And again, president doesn't set the rate and blah blah blah, right? But the government spends more than it makes. Oh my gosh, shocking, right? And that's why this has been continuing for so long. Is that there's always a deficit, and that deficit the Federal Reserve wants so that it can issue more bonds, more debt. They don't care. The government ain't going to fall over. At least that's what they're thinking, right? But you pay an interest, right? So if the rates are high, that means the government has to pay that interest. Well, guess what? If it's already got a huge deficit, and let's say, right, it's like your mortgage, right? Imagine your mortgage payment going through the roof. Hey man, I was at 2%, and now it's like 5%. Right? You might go bankrupt, right? So high rates mean like, the same amount of debt you're trying to service, it costs even more. And then on top of it, you're taking out more debt, right? So the government kind of has a thing about, it'd be nice to have the lower rates, right? That means there's more stability in that government form, right? So Trump's kind of saying that because he knows what, you know, that's all about, right? So the government could technically fail, but it's on Trump's watch, right? So blame Trump, right? And the Federal Reserve, when the rates are too high, it's like, you know, they want them again. They want it low so they can keep their little game going. So I think it's really ironic that they have different sides to this right now. But again, the Federal Reserve, if they can't make any more debt, they die off. It's like they need to continue this perpetual debt, right? And the government needs to have perpetual deficits. That is the game. That is the system. So if you stop or don't need additional deficit spending, that means its days are numbered, and technically it could, you know, over time it may disappear, right? So that's why, again, and you can't print gold and you can't print silver out of nowhere. That is why that is the crux. That's like their kryptonite to their system, right? And again, that forces the government to be rein in its spending, right? So at a high level, that's the idea. That's what Trump wants to get to. Unfortunately, he's got to look like the opposite, which is pretty much Trump MO, right? Like he's it's like the moment you know him, you don't know him from like a strategic or whatever he says. It's nutty. So anyway, yeah, guys, the Federal Reserve, again, if they use some of their own statistics, they doctor these statistics, guys. Yeah, it comes from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Well, I wonder who owns that, right? You think the government, and then they define, right? Oh, hey, we're going to measure it like this. It's like, well, why are you not measuring real CPI, real Consumer Price Index? Oh, well, it would be really, 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 really bad, right? Now, what's funny is, if they actually did that, they would have justification to like really crank up interest rates. But here's the thing. You crank up interest rates, there's no more liquidity. So who's going to buy this stuff? Again, the more you know, the more it's like, oh my gosh, I'm becoming more complicated, more confused as the minute goes by. So anyway, I'm not sure why the hell I went down this road, but I appreciate you guys sticking in with me this far into the video. I thought literally it was going to be like less than a 10-minute video, and we talked about we talked a little bit about Air Force and strategy and, you know, all sorts of stuff for some weird reason. There we go. Another video where Frank just goes off and he can just make one subject go into, but that's, see, there's beauty in the chaos, guys. Beauty in the chaos. Yeah, should I call it that? Beauty in the chaos. People are going to be like, what the hell? Yeah, there we go. So we're going to use that as our title. Yeah, title. I can't even talk because it's Saturday because my brain ended up going somewhere else. So anyway, guys, hope you guys have a good remaining of the weekend. And we will see you tomorrow. And I appreciate you guys sticking up this way. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. It would go a long way so that I can keep making videos, because I wonder, you know, why do I keep making videos, right? You know. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this one. If not just for good laughs, to see how crazy Frank is, how much he's off his rocker, how much drugs did he do as a young kid? No, I drank a lot of Diet Coke. Is it the Diet Coke? Is it the formaldehyde? Yeah, look it up. Formaldehyde. It's in your Coke. It's actually in a lot of carbonated, I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, we're at 30 minutes. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. And I'll catch you soon. See ya. Bye.